Welcome to SDL City Showdown. I'm AJ, and this is the winner, Steve.
Hey, we did it. We can close the shop up. We did it. We're in the playoffs, right? I mean, that's obviously we're in the playoffs now because we have our third win of the season. That's what we're worried about now.
So, Steve, do you want the optimistic view or do you want the realistic view?
I mean, we're never going to win again or we're never going to lose again, so we might as well be optimistic.
So one way to look at it is we're 4 points from the 9th place in the West. So that's 4 points from playoff contention. But at the same time, there is like a whole host of teams ahead of us. And so a lot of people are saying online, hey, we're only 4 points back. But the realistic thing is that's assuming that nobody else gets any points. But it is much better to say that we're 4 points out than nothing because at least you can claw your way up. Like this isn't something that's going to happen in one game or two games, right? Like this is something that we're going to go into the World Cup break and hopefully we're 2 points out of the playoff contention. And then you work in July to get that down to 1 to 0, that sort of thing. So that's optimistic and realistic at the same time. How's that sound?
Yep. That's a sentence.
Thank you.
I know I want to be optimistic, but we're still a team without a striker. We're still a team without a striker. And like, yes, we got our third win, but it's like,
wait,
I don't know, man.
We do have a striker, Totland.
Who?
Tots.
I know I know I've got a cheapo headset, but I'm pretty sure you said Totland is a striker.
You know what's hilarious about this? He has better finishing qualities. Like there's been times where he's had some touches this year. They didn't go in, right? But like what you saw today, he obviously took the opportunity and he chipped it in. There was that one time where Betcher had what I thought was an easy chip in. And what did it do? It just kind of ricocheted off him and right into the sky.
It did a Betcher. It did to the point where even on the Apple announcers, they were trying to be optimistic, but they're like, and then for some reason he used the inside of his right foot instead of just stretching out and using his left foot like he should have. And it's like, yeah, guy, we see this every damn week with this dude. Right.
Oh man, if only there was a word we can give him.
Well, stay tuned.
What a segue.
Oh, yeah. Like the little thing you ride. By the way, you know the guy that created the Segway? Like the Segway, the little two-wheel thing? You know, he died.
Yeah.
You know, he died on a Segway. Yeah, he died on a Segway. He drove the thing off a cliff. He accidentally drove it off a cliff and died.
You're laughing about that?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a dorky thing.
Okay. That's got to be like some email for it. I don't believe this. Okay. I'm going to have to Google this.
I mean, I may have just made it up. I don't know. All right. So we are playing the team from LA, the team that wears the gold, the team that is like that we stole their vibe from with the Tina kits. And so I was trying to think of ways that we could tie this in. And what would think was like LA is known for the Oscars, known for the awards. And so like, what if we were to make our own awards game, if you will, about what will happen tonight? And we call it like the Golden Arches. Instead of the Golden Globes, the Oscar is called the Golden Arches. I mean, it kind of fits in with the two colors and the glow and all that jazz. So, like, we're going to have those awards. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give our award categories, and they're going to be similar to the award categories from, like, the Oscars. But we're going to tie it in clearly with soccer. So we're going to start with the first one. And the first one is the best leading role or the man of the match. Now, this doesn't have to be the person that scored, but it should be the person that kind of controlled the tempo, was kind of pressing hard, kind of was the man of the match, if you will. So I'll let you go first. Who do you think is your best leading role tonight?
So I'm always like criticizing people of always picking the goal scorer because it's just too obvious, right? Like we look at one event and we say that they're the best for the match. But in this case, of course, the exception to the rule, I would have to say it would be Totland because he scored, he took advantage of it. So that's definitely a +1 there. And just even defensively, I felt that he was doing a good job, especially in the earlier half. I think the whole team started to kind of dwindle down as the game went on, but that was partly due to some strategic changes, especially when Orozco went out, especially when Sang Ben went out, and just there was just some changes. And I don't necessarily blame him because this is a team sport, but I felt like he had a pretty decent game, to be honest.
Yeah. As soon as I saw this, my initial thought was Totland as well. And yes, the score was helpful, but he was kind of controlling the tempo out there the first half. He was all over the field. Even in the second half, he was out there. Like he tackled, you could say tackle, you could say pulled down. I joked that he suplexed Bowanga out in the later in the second half. And this is like, that was a meaningful card he got. Like he picked up, like he pretty much told Denny Bwanga, I'm here. And it was just there. So yeah, I think our consistent best leading role goes to Totland. Here's your award, Totland, my little owl guy. So that award goes there. So how about the next one? Best supporting actor. So best kind of supporting person on our field. So I'm gonna give mine, and I think it's for me, it's Leuven, because Leuven was out there. He was instrumental with that goal being scored. And he also was his defensive midfielder self with offensive midfielder, attacking mid. So like for me, I'm giving it to Leuven. What about you?
You know, I'm so disappointed because out of the 5 minutes that we've seen Orozco as the wing back, I absolutely love this setup. I absolutely loved every bit of it. And I just feel like this would have been a no contest and it would have been him, but he was out there just for too short of time for us to give the award. I have to also think about Berkey too, because he had that really, really, really tough save. And the thing about goalkeepers, right, is that they get a few moments to shine and they either do or they don't. And the thing is his was extra tough because it was flicked and redirected at the last moment when he grabbed up and knocked it out with his left hand. That's tough. Yeah. So that was great anticipation. And then what about the one where he just skied it all the way down to, was it Betcher? It was like that long, quick ball. And of course, Betcher, I don't blame him for this one because it was 3-on-1 at that point. But I don't know. I just felt like Berkey actually had a pretty good game here.
Yeah, you know what? You have persuaded me. So we're going to give the best supporting actor to Roman Berkey. Congratulations, Roman. Take care.
What is
this
that?
is yours. This is a character. This is one of the avatars from Skylanders. No, what the hell do they call it? A video game on one of the 3 Xbox 360s. You put this little guy on like a little portal thing and it blasts him into the game. It's pretty neat. She is a character from that. So the Skylanders, yeah. So that's that right there. I'm trying to find all my toys. All right. So I do. I mean, I think like we saw that Berkey has had a rough season. You shared some an infographic that he is in the bottom third of goalkeepers this season. So like the fact that he was so instrumental tonight, we heard his name called a lot. So that's good. All right. Let's skip down to best cinematography or the cleanest pass sequence leading to a chance. So to you, what was, if you had to like kind of narrow down the one, what was like that passing sequence that led up to a chance? It may not even have worked in this match. What was that instance to you? So that best cinematography.
Yeah, obviously the most beautiful, the smoothest scene was obviously leading to this goal. It's not always about the goals, but it just so happened that this was the smoothest. Like, it was gorgeous to watch. It was smooth. It just seemed like we were just, how can I say it? It was just an elegant dance around the defense.
Now, you mean the second goal or the first goal?
Oh, the first goal, yes.
The first goal? Okay. Now, see, I would almost think like the second goal, because we actually saw like yet another buildup. And I think it's so wild. Like we see the passing on this team improve. And I'm not going to say it's week over week because we only have 3 wins, but we're seeing this passing improve. We're seeing the crossings improve. We're seeing the connection. It's like this team that was on the field tonight seemed to be connecting more than some of the other teams we've seen, like the other 11 we've put out there. But I guess I will defer to you with this. That first goal, it happened so fast and was just, we set the tone for the entire match. And I think I told you, and I'm going to be reading some later. I went on the LAFC subreddit and I was perusing their subreddit and their Discord chats throughout this week to kind of see how they were feeling. And like, just like a lot of teams that are on top, kind of like high, the fan base is really low on the team. There's a lot of complaints. There's a lot of this team is no good. They're a bunch of dogs. This head coach has got to go. And like after we scored so fast, like the adrenaline just dropped from this. Like they're already kind of down, but like it took the sails out. So I'll definitely say that first goal for sure. Hey, actually, here, the best passing sequence.
There you go.
Because he's running. There we go. Congratulations, guys.
Isn't it kind of crazy, though, that, these teams that just spend... Because this week, if people didn't see this, and I'm sure anybody listening to us did see this, they released the player salaries and how much the team spent. City, I think, was 18th, somewhere around there, 16th, 18th in the league. I think the lowest team was something like 11, 12 million, something like that. I know Miami was top at like 53 million. And then LAFC was near the top. And it's kind of like in baseball where like the Dodgers basically buy this giant team and stuff like that. So part of me, I'm kind of like, okay, guys, you guys already have such a unfair advantage. Like, be happy with what you have. You have a winning team. You're third, fourth, fifth in the West. That's still very respectful. But these people are like, they just think they should be in first place constantly. Yep. I don't want to say entitled, but,
And they get to live in LA. Like, you get beautiful weather 300 days out of the year. We can't figure out here if it's going to be winter or summer each day right now. It's like, come on.
But there's all the smog and traffic and high cost of living.
Not having March weather in May is nice, too.
Fair.
Yeah. All right, let's go to, okay, I like this one. So the best special effects, meaning the best flop or the best embellishment or the best exaggerated reaction. So to you, who had the best flop tonight and then why should they win?
Oh, I think I know what my gut says, but I almost have to say Cordova had a really good flop. I know you wanted me to say something else and you wanted to agree so bad. I'm just going to throw this out there because my uncle actually made a great point. He was like, yeah, if they start to spin and roll like 2 or 3 times on the field, it's an embellishment. On the same hand, I'll have to make the other argument about Betcher, though, because he had multiple flops. He's always grabbing his head. He's like, oh, my head. You know what Betcher's like? He's like the guy that like you rear end comes out of the car and he's like, my neck.
Yep. You know what? No, for me, it's more like all of the insurance scam dash cams you see where someone's in a parking lot and like someone kind of walks in front of their car and then they go, and they land on top of the hood and they're like, ow, you hit me. That's the kind of shit that Betcher pulls. No, man. So like you said, Cordova. Whenever I saw this and I was like, I think I know it was Cordova's whenever it was the first half of the game where he acted like the guy chopped his shins. And it's like you look back on the replay and he may have caught the tip of his shoe, but Cordova sold the living daylights out of that. And then he hopped right back up and it's like, yeah, man, we get it. So best special effects since crawling, flopping, we're going to give it to Cordova. You get the spider, my homie. You get the spider. Congratulations. I tell you what, moving on to that, one thing that you wanted to see, actually the best improvised scene, that one's coming up, the best improvised scene, the player who solved the chaos or the best kind of emergency defending. So who had the best improvised scene of the game? And okay, and I'll give you mine. For me, it's one of the Berkey saves. Especially the one where he had to like climb up and hit it when it was like a chaotic moment right there. And he had to kind of think on the fly. That for me was that. Or I actually probably the better one is that second goal where it is deflected off of someone else and then another person caused the scene and then Santos got that score. It was like a crazy little sequence there. Like, who would think that the goalie would be that far out of position and get chaos there and then that score. So to me, that's what I'm going with. I changed my mind. The envelope was wrong. I'm going there.
Okay, I could see that too. Another thing I was thinking is if you're talking about like defending and stuff like that, there was a couple times where Edelman had some great laydowns, kind of like, on hockey, how they kind of slide and kind of block. I can count, at least in my head, twice that he did that, which basically killed, because there was a couple times where you're just like, oh crap, like they're going to have a clean shot on goal.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you hear the announcers mention Edelman, and then the ball's flying away. And yeah, we can definitely go with yours, but I think it should be an honorable mention for Edelman there.
All right, so chaos. You know what animal causes the most chaos?
Mosquitoes.
A triceratops. If you saw a triceratops, it'd be a complete chaotic scene. So congratulations,
dude, have you
seen? You get the
no. You've seen Jurassic Park, like the original, right? Like the Triceratops was just nice.
Of course, I've seen it. Yes, but I've also seen
Land Before Time.
You know what?
Like Sarah the Triceratops.
Most, I think a fly will cause the most chaos.
Yeah. Okay.
Flies
legit.
Fly straight up murder people. So I wish I had a fly. I wish I had a zipper or something. But all right. So before we move on to the best villain, part of the award season is like special effects, is the set design. So to you, what player would have been the best prop tonight? For you, what player would have been the best prop?
Ooh, we should do this one at the same time.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Betcher.
Yes. The only damn thing he's good for is getting in the way. And good Lord, if that young man didn't get in the way proper tonight and cause that goal to be scored. The way he just put his big head out there and just like booga 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 the goalkeeper and allowed Santos to be open, that was beautiful. What do you think?
Yeah, the other thing is the other thing I think about like props is something that's almost inanimate that just gets knocked over and falls and flops around all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess you could see it almost kind of both ways. He got in the way of the goalkeeper on that one goal, the second goal, and then also the same thing with his flops. He's just constantly,
Yep. The joke, we've said it, LAFC fans have said it too, just take that player and replace him with a traffic cone. That's basically what Betcher is right now. He's just a traffic cone with decent hair, I guess.
I disagree, because at least if there was a traffic cone, half of these passes to Betcher would have just kind of ricocheted into the net. Would have bounced
off him. All right.
Dude, I'm not joking. It's just kind of funny because literally when Betcher had that semi breakaway with the Berkey pass, I was like, miss it, because at some point you're just like, okay, let's do reverse psychology. Seriously, at some point you have to think maybe he should try to miss these goals because maybe he might actually do the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm being silly about it, but you get the point.
Yeah. So the award for prop tonight, Betcher, you earn the cactus.
Yes.
Because when you kick a cactus, it just falls over. That's not dramatic. If you ever seen a cactus fall over, it's just like bloom, so all right, it's full of water and shit. All right. So let's see. How about we always look for we have the protagonist in these matches. How about the antagonist, the greatest villain? To you, who was the greatest villain of this match? It was Denny Belonga. It was Sun. Oh, it was the Orlis.
No. The real monster is the one inside your soul. It's dark.
You're right. It's me. I was him.
Dude, in all seriousness, I know we like to complain, but you cannot tell me that the team did not constantly get worse with subs. Now, the first one, I get Roscoe was hurt. Fine, so be it. But then saying Ben came out and then you put Betcher and Cordova out there, what are you doing? Put McSorley out there, okay? Keep Cordova at top, put McSorley just like they did at the end, would have been a much better feel. I feel like sometimes we are our worst enemy, or in this case, the worst villain.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am going to say that it was I'm trying to make sure I got the name right. I'm going to say that it is going to be Martinez for LAFC
Mm.
because he ruined the clean sheet tonight. He's one of those
Oh,
subs that
yeah.
came on that made an impact. As soon as he was coming on, the Apple announcers were like, and don't let him get near the ball. And sure enough, he gets a goal. And a beautiful goal. He did like it was not even it was deep and it was like a kind of a kick. And it's just all skill. And then he almost had another one like 2 minutes later. So to me, it's going to be him because he messed up the perfect sheet or the clean sheet. But had two in a
Yeah.
row.
Yeah, I can go with
Yeah,
that.
Martinez. All right, let's see. Let's do one more. How about the Lifetime Achievement Award, the City Identity Award? So that player tonight that encapsulates, embodies the club's DNA. What
Hmm.
player to you was like St. Louis City as a player? Oh yeah, for me
I
it's
go ahead.
Leuven. It's Leuven. Like if you think about like St. Louis, we're in the Midwest. It's There's really nothing you can say about the people other than people are hardworking, they're tenacious. We don't give up, that kind of stuff. And Leuven came back, first started home since his wife's passing. You noted that he was applauding the supporter section when he came over for the first corner. He has a beautiful assist on a goal, and he was just out there and he played like 65, 70 minutes or something.
Yeah,
He was
65,
just
yeah.
tenacious out there. And so to me, that embodies the spirit of St. Louis. So to me, he definitely earns that Lifetime Achievement Award, the club. What about you?
Yeah, the one thing I love about watching him, and you saw this several times tonight, is that a lot of times players get in midfield and they're looking for a pass. So they look, and once they find it, they kind of lock in. Leuven, he'll sit there, stop. He realizes he has time because he feels that pressure. He's kind of like a quarterback. You know how they have like
Oh
this
yeah.
internal like pressure monitor? He'll know that, okay, I have some time. He'll scan the field, and then that's when he's usually looking for those long passes and stuff like that. I love that about him. I agree. I agree. The other thing is he's also heads up. Like some players just get so hyper focused. Like we had that quick corner at the beginning, and he knew, okay, we're near the supporter section. Let's get our guys, our supporters riled up. And he just sat there clapping. I'm serious. It was literally about like 10, 12, 15 seconds. It wasn't like a quick little clap, clap. It was like,
Yes.
like he was really getting them going, which makes a difference. There's a reason why there's home field advantage. Part of it is the fans. No joke.
Right.
So yeah, I think
You
that's an
know,
easy
and
award winner.
the announcers tonight, like when the game started, they talked about St. Louis being the like kind of like the original soccer capital of the country. They stayed clear to kind of they didn't use that terminology for clear reasons, but they're talking about like how historic the city is with soccer, and like I think that he just kind of embodied that tonight. So I tried to think about which one of my weird toys around here we could give them. So like Groot, you win Groot. Congratulations, Leuven. I'm sure you'll put it on your mantle. I'm sure that'll be a lifelong. And by the way, Groot doesn't have hands for some reason. I don't know what happened to his hands, but or this real wicked looking
Well, that should have been the
character.
last award. You didn't give him the
Yeah.
villain award.
Well, she's
Jeez.
not a villain. She's a hero. You jerk. She's
Really?
just like a dark hero. Yeah, she's a hero. What are you doing?
Anti-hero. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right, so like that was kind of. I'm trying to think if I have any more. I think that's a good way to end it. It's just like the Lifetime Achievement Award. So I hope everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you got a little kick out of this, and I think we can move on to goal or no goal. What's the vibe in the city? Which, by the way, let's just take a real quick pause. Like the last time we were not this last time we were at home, but like every home game, it's been getting like the atmosphere is getting worse and worse and worse. And because it's losing this much drives down, it kind of drags you down. And like the fans were noticing the vibes. I noticed the vibe on Reddit was really down even throughout most of this match. And I
Mm-hmm.
wonder
Mm-hmm.
if that spiritual person, Leuven, he's got that religious aspect. He is very kind of wholesome. Not only did the team win tonight, but he had a huge impact on that. I wonder if that's going to carry through to the next time we're at home, and if it's going to feel different. Like, I haven't been to a game, so some of you that have been to games, comment and let us know, like, how has the atmosphere been inside the stadium? I can't imagine it's been great, but I bet it's different now, leaving that stadium after a big win like this against one of the premier teams in the league with, by the
Absolutely.
way, like the second highest player in the league on their roster. And he had two that I saw amazing opportunities to score, and our defense stopped them both. Our defense stopped them both. Like, Tillman had a really bad pass beginning of the game that stopped him, but we stopped him on a couple more times. So, like, that's gotta kind of be one of those spiritual bumps. All right, what do you got for goal or no goal?
Yeah, the first one, you ready for this? Optimal username. So we've actually mentioned this person before. They said, where are all the haters at that said it couldn't be done? I'm right here. I was the hater. So this is the point that I'm trying to make here is it's almost this reckless optimism of like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
It's like you win the game and now it's like, oh my gosh, like we're this amazing team, goal or no goal. Is this reckless optimism deserved or undeserved?
Oh, the reckless optimism is, well, I think it's deserved, because if you're that optimistic right now, you deserve that cognitive dissonance. You're just ignoring the fact that this team is still in 14th place. It's kind of like the meme where you've got the guy and he's like biting the champagne, he's like congratulating himself, and like he's biting the gold coin or something, the medal, and it's like he's on like the bottom of the rung. He's like in 14th place and like he's congratulating himself. This is what I think the fans can get into. And what's going to happen is we're going to go into DC next week, or actually next week in 3 days. And chances are we might get thunderclapped then. Okay. And then what's going to happen to that optimism?
So let's talk about this real quick. So we had this game today. We have one Saturday. We have the Open Cup on Tuesday, and then we have a game on Saturday. So if my math is correct, in 10 days, we have 4 games. So let me ask you this question. Right now, we have 2 back-to-back wins. We're 4 games out of playoff spot in 9th place, assuming teams don't get any points, of course. So we're at least within a stone's throw, but we're also in the Open Cup where we probably have our best chance for some kind of hardware. We have to rotate. You absolutely cannot have what I would consider like our starting lineup tonight with Roscoe and all that, no Valum, no Betcher, is probably the best lineup we have, except if we can find a way to get Joyner in there.
Right.
But still, a pretty good roster. We can't run that 4 games in a row. So do you toss out the DC game? Because it's either got to be the Saturday's DC game, and do you heavily rotate and then play hardcore for the Open Cup game, or do you do it opposite, or do you kind of do a partial rotation both games and kind of just hedge your bets?
Right. Just kind of spitballing. I don't know if I don't think DC's in the Open Cup. I know for a fact that Houston is, because duh. I also know that they then must have a similar schedule that we have, because they just played LA a couple days ago. They just played LA on Sunday even. And so now they're playing, and then they'll have a game. I don't know if they play tonight, but they'll have a game on Saturday and then turn around a game on Tuesday. So they're probably going to be rotated as well. They're currently in 8th.
They're losing.
So
they're losing 3-0. Yeah, they're losing 3-0 to Salt Lake.
So they're playing. So they are in the exact same spot we are. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that they're worried about the regular season, but they also don't want to lose. So they're probably going to, what I'm saying is they're probably going to have a heavily rotated team on Tuesday as well. So whose rotated team was going to be better, theirs or ours? So I do think that they're going to prioritize MLS over the Open Cup. So
I think so too.
I do think so.
They currently are in 8th place. They got 18 points. Colorado has 16 points, so they're losing right now. So the problem that they risk is not only can Colorado, who has 16 points, San Diego has 16 points, LA Galaxy has 16 points. There's 3 teams that if Houston loses this Saturday, can leapfrog them. They have to win to maintain playoff contention.
Right.
I agree with you. I think Houston rotates. So knowing that, What would you rather City do? Would you rather see City take advantage of that rotated Houston and play our best players and try to make sure we win? Or do you say, well, if Houston's going to rotate, I'll take the chance and do a 50-50 flip, but then pay attention to our league play? What would you pick?
I am going to say that I don't want to put all my hopes in a single elimination tournament. Not whenever this team still has 23 or so more games to go. Not when there's still this
22.
much more of a season left. I do want us to not just piss it away like we did our first year, whereas you can tell Carnell had no interest. But I do want an effort. I would like to win, but I'd rather have, like, if there's out of 10, I'd rather have 6 on the MLS and 4 points for the Open Cup. And I do want an effort, but I do think that Houston's going to have to rotate as well. So I think that's where we're going to go. All right, let's get a view from the top, if you will.
Yeah.
On LAFC subreddit, Key Pomegranate 20, fan of the show, says LAFC choke. That's all he says. Goal or no goal. LAFC choke.
Choke or choked?
Yeah, choke. Like,
so they're choking or they... Okay. I'll be honest. I think they kind of do. I mean, they should have a good team. They have a payroll of something like 35 million compared to our, I forgot what ours is, like 18 million, something like that. They almost have double. Yeah, I think they choked. Now, part of that too is I think we played well. I think we did really well in the first, 25 minutes, and then we played average for the rest of the game. So I think we did what we were supposed to, but I think LA is a better team, if I'm being honest with you.
Right. For expectations, they started off 5-0, and they had 4 clean sheets in that time span. And it's been kind of downhill ever since. So I do think expectations from the beginning of the season, they're definitely choking. Now, tonight, did they choke? I don't think so, because they immediately went down and they never had a chance to come back up.
But look at that header. Remember, there was the corner where there was just basically unmarked LAFC player who had a header that ended up going over the net. If he just had a decent ball on frame, they score. They had a couple.
I would say Tillman got out ahead of our midfield and got all the way down to the final 18 and had a chance to he could either shoot or pass the Sun. He chose neither and made a horrible decision. And I would say that's a choke. So yeah, let's go ahead and say for sure that LAFC chokes, because they're bums. I wouldn't want to be their team, stupid jerks. What you got?
So I just want to say, because I like complaining about our strikers. So the Band-Aid said, Cordova attempting the impossible, making Betcher look almost playable. Sitting on the bench didn't help Santos realize he had to pay attention when defending. So forget that last part. So I guess the question is who's worse? So Cordova attempting the impossible, making Betcher look almost playable. Goal or no goal?
No goal. Because, Cordova's not like amazing, but he's the reason why I want to say he crossed it over for both the score that Betcher missed and the one that we actually got in. Did he do the cross for there as well? I mean, he was all over the field tonight. He was present. I would say he's not just disappearing. He was present. You knew he was there. So no, I would definitely say that's a no goal. He's definitely not making Betcher look better. I don't know if that's possible this year. I don't know if that's possible.
I just have to. I'm going to actually disagree, because I think this is so tough, because
who loves that headband? That's what it is.
Maybe that's it. I don't want to say I prefer Betcher over Cordova. This is a tough one, right? Like, I get that Betcher misses, but Cordova also really hasn't scored a lot of goals either.
Yeah.
At least Betcher defensively is better. At least he draws some fouls, right? Where Cordova, like, if you watched him, he just didn't have a lot of hustle, especially on defense. Like there's a few times where he just kind of coughed up the ball, made some bad passes, or I felt like he should have made a defensive move, and he just seemed a little lazy. It almost seems like he's not playing for a starting role. I hate to say it.
I mean, I don't. It's almost like Mr. Magoo. He doesn't know better because he's just running around. All right, on the Discord, our St. Louis City's Discord, RBD22 says Betcher couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Goal or no goal?
Yeah, I think that's a well-established, like that's a Hall of Fame kind of comment. Like that's cemented. Like there's a statue out front. Actually, that would be huge. That would be a hilarious statue. If we're going to have our first statue outside the stadium, it should be Betcher shooting the goal and then the ball's like veering off course.
Right, but the statue needs to be like down the street. Like that's where if we're going to put a statue of him out in front of Enterprise, there should actually just be like a series of dots on the pavement leading, and then there's Betcher like 2 blocks down kicking a goal. Like that should be the statue. I think if we were to paint the the goal, like the goal frame on the side of a building, on the side of a barn, and say hit it, he'd miss it every time. Unless, of course, they did not take our advice and have someone in the back of the goal going, pass to me during practice. We said that last week. We gave the team the clear goal on having Betcher learn how to shoot by having someone be behind the goal saying pass to them. Maybe he'd do it, but they didn't take our advice.
Oh. There's got to be somebody that can play literally. I just wish they could get some kid up there and play striker. At least maybe they might have some flair. But anyways, I digress. I'll just say a happy one. So
okay,
you ready for this one? This is an easy goal, right? So Uncle Crash, Totland, what a great game for him. So happy for him and us.
You little sweetheart. Yeah, I would say that's for sure.
Little heart.
A goal because, and also on to back that up, Pillow on Discord says Totland man of the match. And that was their excitement. And sure enough, on FOTMOB, he is the man of the match. I don't know if I didn't see the alert come up on the City app to vote on man of the match.
He did get it. He got 37%, 37% for Tots. Leuven had 24% and Berkey 27%. And Santos, why would you put Santos? Come on. 10% of people put Santos on there.
Yeah, I mean, he had a goal. I wouldn't say that he was just there, which is good. He wasn't great throughout the match, but yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Who is City SC going to put on there if not Santos? Because he scored tonight. Like, who else are they going to put on there?
That's but my feelings about this is that fans, like there's 10% of the people here that base it just solely on the goal. He did not have that great of game. Like there were some bad crosses, there were some bad plays, there were some giveaways.
I'd also be interested to know how many of those were just didn't want to give Totland an easy, like it was like an anti-vote. Like, of course he's going to get it. I'm just going to vote Santos. Boop.
Maybe it's some grandma that thought she was selecting Totland and accidentally hit Santos.
Yeah,
they're close to the same name.
I want that Scandinavian fella, Santos. I want that nice blonde-haired kid, Santos.
Oh, dude, I don't have any more goal or no goals. How about you, bro?
I don't either. I mean, this is just actually no. A dude on Discord says, "My God, that was amazing." Goal or no goal?
Okay, I'll say goal. I wouldn't say amazing. I mean, amazing would have been like we looked amazing the whole entire game, but you never look a gift horse in the mouth, which I don't know what that saying means, but apparently you get gifts from horses or something.
Because when you would be given a horse, you had to check their teeth because their teeth were, if a horse that's not taken care of could have rotting teeth. And if you were given a gift horse, someone was paying for you for something, they would give you one of their horses. It's polite to just take it and not just rip the horse's mouth open and check their teeth and reject the gift. So never look a gift horse in the mouth, and then it's just considered rude. It's just a stupid thing. Like there's more than one way to skin a cat. Like who is skinning cats? And why do I need more than one way to skin a cat? There's more than one way to drown a child. Like no one says that. That's just stupid. I remember the first time I said that to my wife, not the skinning of the kid, but the skinning of the cats. She was like, whoa, what are you talking about? Like she had never heard that. And, It was such a weird thing. So yeah, give horse in the mouth. That's kind of, and like pay through the nose. That's weird too. Like the whole 9 yards. Don't want to think about that. There's so much weird stuff. But anyway, good, etymology talk here on Soccer Chat.
There you go. I love it.
Oh my God. So someone on Discord just posted Simon Betcher's stat sheet from tonight. And that's apropos to nothing. They just posted his stat sheet and just left it. 45 minutes, expected goals 0.87, expected goals on target 0. Accurate passes, he had 2 of 7 for 29%. His shot accuracy was 0 of 2, and then that was just it. Like, I love it. That's just pettiness right there. Just apropos to nothing, just post the man's stat sheet and just leave it.
Man.
All right. So I think, we've had really rough ways to end this thing, but I think we had a good time tonight. We have our little, I wish I would have had like a shout out thing. That's a microphone, like a toy microphone. It's really rad. I mean, it probably works better than the one I have. All right. So actually, no. So you know what? I think it's a good time to say the one thing. So like stand on a chair, get excited, look around, open a window and scream, "All for City, baby!" And don't apologize for that. All for City, baby.
And stop.